Hi guys, my name is Matt. Welcome to the Sin Bin. So let me just give you guys a little bit of perspective before we jump into the video. So the Canadians just lost their 7th game against the Philadelphia Flyers. I am not in a good mood. I am really not into a good mood. Second of all, one of my biggest pet peeves of all time, I don't know if I've ever said on the channel, but I hate when people bring politics into hockey. I hate hearing about other people's politics views when I'm trying to enjoy a hockey game. And why? Hockey for me is a form of escapism. I want to escape my daily life. I want to escape everyone's political views. I want to escape politics in general. I just want to sit on my hairy ass with a beer in hand and enjoy a hockey game. So don't bring your politics into my hockey. It annoys me. I'll even go further, even if it's the same view as me. It still annoys me. For me, I want to keep it separate. Now, I'm on Sportsnet. The Canadians, the game ended. I'm looking up for some highlights of the other teams. I kind of want to stay on top of things. And I see this video right here. Boom. It's called The Conversation, Diversity and Inclusion in Hockey. So right off the bat, if you look at the title, you know it's going to be pretty political. So again, I'm not really a fan of it. I thought I would give it a try. If you look at the likes to dislikes ratio, it's currently sitting at 29 likes, 56 dislikes. Okay, so already it's kind of causing a stir with the fans. One last thing I wanted to say before jumping into the video is that Ron MacLean, as you see him here, this is the new Hockey Night in Canada. Again, Saturday night, I used to be Don Cherry. Obviously, Don Cherry isn't here anymore. Now, that's a problem for many reasons. Most of all, Don Cherry, he went on record for being a right wing. Okay, he's a right winger. He supported Ford. He has conservative values. He supports Christians. Okay. Ron MacLean, he goes on record for being a left-winger. So that always made for some great entertainment for us fans because we got to see both sides kind of clash together. And it always made Coach's Corner really entertaining. Now, Don Cherry got canned. So we're left with this guy, Ron MacLean. This guy, I think his name is Kabui. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And this girl, Terry Sloan. We're not getting both sides of the story here. We're pretty much going to get one side and one side only. So that within itself is a problem. So why don't we kind of get into this video? I watched about 1 or 2 minutes of it before I deemed, okay, I need to make a reaction video out of it. So I apologize for that in advance. I'm going to be pausing a lot. I'm going to be pausing and I'm going to be saying my opinion. So without further ado, why don't I just shut up and listen to this video? The Conversation, Diversity and Inclusion in Hockey. This is the new Hockey Night in Canada.
Best known maybe as film director of Soul on Ice, but certainly a tremendous radio personality and a career all around the business. And it's been a watershed couple of weeks. I'll begin with you. What do you think?
Yeah, so what I'm thinking so far is about the children. We're in a very important moment in the world of hockey and the growth of hockey. And I think it's very important that the children know that they have a safe space in the world of hockey.
Oh, shit, sorry. I don't know if you guys heard that.
I think it's very important that the children know that they have a safe space in the world.
It's important to let the children know that they have a safe space in the world of hockey. Now, I know safe space, there's a whole political connotation to it. When I think of hockey, and I'm looking at that Flyers-Canadians game and there's bodies flying over the place, I think the last word that comes to my mind is safe. You know, there's hip checks, there's body checks, there's traumatic brain injuries, there's concussions. If I wanted my children to be safe, I'll sign them up for saxophone lessons. Maybe not hockey. So already there, I'm poking holes into his theory. Why don't we just continue here?
Of hockey, and we provide that for them so that, you know, they have the ability to know that if something happens to them, they can speak up. Akeem Alou, he's going to go down in history as one of those people who helped change the game of hockey and make it progress to a better and safer place.
All right, so he just referred here to Akeem Alou. Quickly, in case you guys haven't heard, I didn't really make a video about it. Bill Peters just got fired by the Calgary Flames, or he resigned, because a few years back, there was an instance where he comes into the locker room to this hockey player called Akeem Alou, one of the players he's coaching, and he was playing rap music, and he said, "Why don't you turn off that N-word rap music?" And he used the N-word. There's also several stories of him kicking players in the back and, you know, punching them. Out of all of the hockey pundits on YouTube and, you know, elsewhere, I'm hard-pressed to find someone to defend Bill Peters in this situation. I'm hard-pressed to find someone to defend Bill Peters. I mean, I don't know if we can make an argument that it was bad that he got fired. I'm hard pressed to find someone to defend him. That's all I'm going to leave it at. So let's just continue the video here. I just wanted to give you guys some information on who Akim Aliu is.
Tara?
Oh, okay. Pause. Look at this girl's face. Look at it. There's this term. It's called resting bitch face. I'm not really accustomed to it. I don't think I've ever seen it in person. When I look at her face right now, I think it fits the description. Resting bitch face. I don't think what she's about to say, it's all happy and jolly and, sunshine and rainbows. I think she's about to drop it on us, guys. She's about to drop a big old anvil on her head. Why don't we hear what she has to say? Tara Sloan in Red Deer, Alberta.
That's definitely been on my mind too, Ron. As you know, later this evening, I'm going to be speaking at a gala fundraiser for girls hockey. And so what I've been thinking a lot about is, the gratitude that I feel for getting to a certain point as a woman in my career in hockey. And for those of us, the responsibility that we all hold to now lift people up around us. I think it just can't be relegated to us and them at this point. This isn't their fight. This has to be all of our work that we do together. So, but for sure, it has to start at the grassroots level. That's where the conversation needs to go, and it has to include parents and organizations. So, I mean, this is a really big movement, and there's a lot of...
Wait, pause. Okay, first of all, I don't understand a single word of what she's saying. Second of all, I think what she's trying to say is that being a woman, and, being a woman and yada, 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 she had to work extra hard to get where she's at. Because, us men and us white men, we're privileged, so we didn't have to work. We're here on top, and we didn't have to work for anything. Her being a woman, she had to work harder. I think some of that's true. I think some of that's not true. So, as we all well know, there are not much women in hockey, whether it be, analysts, commentary, or just players themselves. I'm speaking from my point of view. If I had a family and I had one son and I had 4 daughters, I'm going to sign up the son to play hockey, and those 4 daughters, I'm keeping them away from hockey. They can watch it, they can do whatever. I don't want them to play hockey. Why? I don't want to see them get injured. The boy, little Matt Jr., he can get injured as much as he wants. Dislocate shoulders, whatever. If I see my daughter get into something physical and, God forbid, get injured, for some reason, I don't know, the chemical reaction in my body, I feel worse. I would hate to see my daughter, and, their bones, we forget. We're all for equality, but women have a slighter petite frame compared to men, generally speaking. Their bones, they're not as solid, they're not as big, they don't have as much mass. I don't know if they can withstand, going crashing into the boards like my son would. So, I just wanted to get out of the way. Why don't we continue with this beautiful video by CuckoldNet?
Opportunity for this to happen very quickly.
And I think what she said is correct. It's about including everyone. You and I have talked about this a lot. There's a big emphasis on diversity and inclusion. And I'd like to say that the game of hockey has always been diverse. It's not as diverse as we'd like it to be, but it's always been diverse. What it hasn't been is inclusive. And I think we are at a point where we have to find a way to make the game more inclusive.
Okay, wait, pause. I apologize. There's just so much wrong going on here. So he says it's always been diverse. It hasn't been inclusive. First of all, I'm not really sure what that means, to be honest. Maybe someone can clarify the difference. But when I see a league where Jerome McGinley, a black athlete, he's captain on his team, he's an all-star. He played, I recently listened to an interview on Spitting Chicklets with Jamal Mayers. They were both on the same team. 2 black athletes. PK Subban, one of the biggest kings when he was in Montreal. No player was treated like he was. Definitely a fan favorite. I'm not saying there's no racism in the world. There is 100% racism in the world, and there will continue to be racism. I don't know if the NHL, they're saying, guys, let's avoid these black players. Let's only take the white players. I don't think so. I don't think there's a particular agenda. That's just me. I would like to see behind the scenes. But if you see how players come into the NHL, the process, it's through a draft. GMs look, if the players are doing well, they're going to be ranked higher. If they're not doing well, they're going to be ranked lower. There's nothing more democratic. Work hard, show results, and no matter if you're black, Asian, purple, orange, whatever it may be, you're going to make it. I'm sorry, I'm a little hard-pressed. I'm not saying there's no racism. There is absolutely some racism instances. But let's just not take some situations, and a few situations here and there, and apply it to everything and say the NHL as a whole is racist. We're not including people. We're not including black people, whatever it may be. I don't think it's right. I apologize for that cough. So we're going to continue here. 2 minutes in, and I think I've paused the video already 5 times.
Because the more inclusive the game is, the more opinions you have and different perspectives you will have about the game of hockey, and you can only be better for that. And simply putting, it's hard to just say, I'm going to talk about issues in the black community or the indigenous community or in the LGBTQ community without having those people represented at the table.
Again, How are the indigenous not represented? Jordan Tutu, he was there in the NHL. Who's the highest paid player on the Canadiens? Carey Price, $10 million. He's of native Canadian descent, out there in British Columbia. I'm sorry, I find it a little bit hard when they say there's this specific agenda against the indigenous and the blacks. I don't know. Sorry, I just hit the microphone.
Table. So we have to do a better job of making sure the game is more inclusive and it will become more diverse.
Here's the thing. Play well, get to the junior level, play well, wow the teams. You're going to get ranked high in the draft. You're going to get selected. That's how you get included.
As well.
Tara, you're such a champion of that. So I'll tell you a little story from my point of view that will probably lead you first and then Kwame. When we did an interview a year ago, Kwame and I, after Devontae Smith Pelly had to deal with racial agitation, and it was a nice conversation. But I said to Kwame, I don't see you as black. I don't see Tara as a woman. And then I realized there's your white male privilege. You know what, Ron? You don't have to see that because you don't need to see that.
There we go. Hold on. Let me repeat it.
There's your white male. I don't see you as black. I don't see Tara as a woman. And then I realized there's your white male privilege. You know what, Ron? You don't have to see that because...
Okay, here we go. Ron McLean, the cuckold of Sportsnet, just calls himself out on his white male privilege. Now, white male privilege is something that I sort of have a tough time digesting. Because, as I said, he brings up the Devontae Smith Pelly, the example of Devontae Smith Pelly, where he had racism. Very possible. I'm not denying that at all. Something racist happened to him. It was a horrible situation, I'm sure. The reason why I have problem with white male privilege is because, adjust your cameras right now, I am a white male. And I really worked hard to get where I'm at. I used to be a shithead in high school. My life was going nowhere. I really had to turn it around, and I don't really want to get into specifics, but with the help of my parents and with the help of just, self-motivation, I got to the point where I am. I kind of find it sucky when people come to me and they're like, no, you got to the point you are because of your privilege, because of the color of your skin. They think I just had to sit down and do nothing and everything just comes to me. No, I still really had to work hard. And when people throw out white male privilege, it's not bringing people together, it's dividing them furthermore. Because we're taking all of the people that had to work hard in life, the blue collars, everyone, the white collars, everyone, and we're taking away some of that merit. We're saying, listen, none of it is because of you. You didn't have to work hard at all. It's because of the color of your skin. You got in because you're white. I have a little bit of problem with that. And again, I don't know why they're bringing all of this shit into hockey. I really don't. Let's continue the video here.
You don't need to see that. Mm-hmm. And you told me, Kwame, an amazing story about when the kids throw back to Hockey Night in Canada, as a general rule, they're often all white. And if they're not all white, the whites often have the speaking part. And it's the same with our Rogers Hometown Hockey. We're so proud of being inclusive, but how many times do we get...
You made it on Hockey Night in Canada because of the color of your skin. Because of the color of your skin. I don't know. I think that there is maybe some truth to that, Maybe less so nowadays where everyone is so like, you know, whatever. But again, if you keep throwing out the word white male privilege, am I where I'm at because of the color of my skin or because I worked hard? I think it's because I worked hard.
People of color to pick the 3 stars. And it was just a real eye-opener that I don't recognize the structural racism or sexism that's going on.
Okay. Why do I put myself through this? It's just raising my blood pressure. The structural racism. That means that the NHL as a whole, structurally, it's racist. If that were the case, after the whole Bill Peters situation would have went down, he wouldn't have got condemned. He wouldn't have got fired. But no, that's not how it is. That's not how it works. If you do something racist, you're going to get fined by the NHL. We saw it with Andrew Shaw when he was with the Chicago Blackhawks. I think he called the refs F-A-G-G-O-T. Okay, he got fined. But, you know, the NHL, they're this, they're that. No, if you say a racial slur, you're going to get fined. That's the way it is. And as I said, and I keep repeating, it's so democratic. The way it's built. You play well in junior, you score a lot of goals, you wow the scouts, you're going to get selected. I'm hard-pressed to think there's a management that says, hey, here's the next Wayne Gretzky. He's going to score a ton of goals, you know, at least 1 goal a game. He's going to hit 120 points each season. Oh, but he's a black man. I'm sort of hard-pressed. I'm sorry. You guys, you can make the argument in movies that they're not selecting black actors. I'll say okay. When it comes to hockey, the process in which you get drafted and you get selected onto teams, you can't get more democratic than that. So I don't know why they're going on this whole spiel. I'm only 3 minutes and 40 seconds in. I already want to kill myself. Hey, imagine if Don Cherry was here. If you just stuck him where this logo is and put him in between these SJWs, I think he would just explode.
You know, it's interesting because it takes me back to when I was a child and I loved hockey from before I even knew myself. My favorite hockey player was Guy Lafleur. And, you know, when we would go outside and play road hockey and everybody's picking their favorite player, I remember this one time I said, I'm Guy Lafleur. And a kid told me I can't be Guy Lafleur because Guy Lafleur is white. And
okay, well, you know what I say to that kid? Fuck you. We're not all like that kid. Don't apply it to all of us. You know what I would have said? You want to be Guy Lafleur? Be Guy Lafleur. Okay? By the way, is there a whiter name in this universe than Guy Lafleur? I just hear that name. Even if you know nothing about Guy Lafleur, you know it's a white guy.
I didn't know that Mike Marsden was out there. I didn't know that Bill Riley was out there. I didn't know that there was a guy by the name of Willie O'Ree or Herb Carnegie that I could say I want to look up to. So I think as an industry, as broadcasters, as sports broadcasters, we have to also do a better job of showing everybody, because once we show everybody, then everybody feels included. You know, we have to have an...
Again, out of all of my years watching hockey, I don't think there's an example where they didn't show the people of color. You know, in hockey, when the shots go on the bench and it's sliding across the bench and they're showing all the players, it's not like they get to Wayne Simon and everyone's like, cut, change it. No, we show all of the players. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? At least I'm speaking in my era. I don't know about you guys in your other... Hold on. I don't know about you and your era and everything, but that's just the way it is. I don't think there's instances, maybe you in your personal life, fine. But it's dangerous if you're taking a little instance when you're a kid and a guy said you can't be Guy Lafleur and you're applying it to everyone. You know, people like me who I don't think, I know I'm not racist, okay? I've never done anything like that. My hockey teams, they had all different colors of the rainbow. I guess black isn't on the rainbow, but you know what I mean. We had all the different colors. It's not like I told the black kids, you can't be Guy Lafleur. No. Well, maybe I told them that, but it's because they sucked. It wasn't because of the color of their skin. Not many people are Guy Lafleur.
environment that's also safe, but it's welcoming. And if we feel welcomed in this environment, you're going to have more fans. So, for example, if you see someone that looks like you know that you can be a part of that as well. And I think that not only does the NHL,
welcomed. Jerome McGinley was a captain for an NHL team. PK Subban was offered a $9 million contract by an NHL team. That sounds welcoming to me. Hey, you're a captain and you make $9 million. That's it. I'm done.
Individual teams have to do a better job of being more inclusive, but the broadcasters have to do a better job of being more inclusive. Either it's in their work practices, or if they're broadcasting or making commercials, or if they're doing, having kids sitting at a table to have the honor.
Yeah, because we don't see PK Subban in commercials. What the fuck is he talking about? I mean, this is a prime situation of making a problem out of nothing. Making a problem. Again, I've never watched a hockey game where they only show white guys, and the minute the black guy pops out, they just pan away. How many fucking commercials, if you guys are in Canada, whether it be Tim Hortons, whether it be Canadian Tire, PK Subban's face is always on those commercials. I'll even go on a limb here, more so than the white players. Okay? Don't think there's like some agenda. I don't buy it. I really don't. Again, maybe some instances, some isolated instances, but there's something dangerous to be said when you're taking some isolated incidents and then applying it to the NHL as a whole, applying it to broadcasting as a whole. I think it's a very shitty thing to do, and I think his intentions are good. I don't think he's trying to piss off people. I think he's trying to bring people together. But I will say, when you go and say something like that, when they say that men of the white color, they're privileged, and when they say black people, there's an agenda against them, I don't think you're bringing people together. I think you're separating them even more. Why don't we get into the rest here? So here we go.
To select the 3 stars, let's change it up a little bit.
Tara.
Oh boy.
Well, I liked what you said about
That's
recognizing your privilege, and I think that each and every one of us has to take stock of that. I recognize that I am a cisgendered, straight, white woman, and with that comes a certain amount of privilege.
What the fuck?
But I think for all of us, it's also just about
cisgender white woman, and that comes with the amount of privilege. Again, going back to what I'm saying, everything you've worked for. If you're like me, I love women. Women out there listening, if you need my number. I like women. I'm of the color white. Everything I've done in life, it's a lie. I didn't have to work for it. I didn't have to bust my ass. I never had to open a science book in my life or whatever it may be. I got chosen it because of the color of my skin. A situation similar happened to this with me and my dad. I'm 10 years old. I used to take piano lessons and I used to do the contests. And so I kill myself. I practice every day. I work hard. I get to the concert, okay? And there's 4 people, I think. There's 4 contestants. I play my little piece. Everything's good. I end up getting 3rd place. In front of me, it was a French girl. And the number 1 place, it was a French guy. 2 French people in front of me. And keep in mind, I live in Quebec. So my dad comes to me. He says, you know what? They probably took them because they're French. They didn't take you because you're an Araby-looking guy. And they took the 2 others because they're French. And even at that young age, I'm like, Dad, they took me because I didn't practice enough. I'm not going to be weak here and say that, oh, it's because of how I look. It's a get-out-of-jail card. No, they practice better. I can definitely say they probably played their pieces better. Okay? Again, racism exists. I don't think that every single thing on earth, it has to be made to be racism. Okay? And to say like, oh, I'm privileged because I'm a cisgendered blah, 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 blah. What's happening with the world? All right, moving on. This is taking forever, but I just got so much to say.
Recognizing where our blind spots might lie, and we all have them, and I think we also have to be understanding that other people around us have them. So there's a little bit of compassion that has to come along with this, understanding that we all have some learning to do. But I think we all have to look inside and realize what we're not seeing and make sure.
I'm sorry. The more I'm looking at this girl, the more and more she's starting to look like Michael Jackson for some reason. That's just...
As Kwame says, make sure that we have these diverse voices around us to help us, and we can't do it without inclusion. You know, we have Canada, to have these faces at the table.
As Canadians, we are so proud to say how diverse our country is. We want that to be reflected in the schoolyards. We want that reflected in the work environments. We want that reflected in our sport, our favorite sport. I love the game of hockey. I love watching Sidney Crosby play. I love watching Wayne Simmons play. I love seeing all these guys come together. And I cannot wait for the day when we can truly say that the game is inclusive, because it's only going to make it better.
You know, when Akeem came forward, it was... Go ahead, Tara, please.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I was...
by the way, can you guys believe this is the new Coach's Corner? This is the new Hockey Night in Canada? I'm assuming because it's Saturday. Right? It's Saturday, right? I'm not imagining things. Yeah, we're Saturday. This is Don Cherry's usual spot. So not only do they can the guy, they replace them with this pile of shit. Okay? They replace them with this shit. I don't know. I don't like it. Again... Leave the fucking politics out of hockey. Hockey, for me, it's escaping politics. Why are you bringing it back into it?
I was just going to say that, you know, if anybody has seen Kim Davis speak, who's the VP of Social Impact with the NHL, the word she uses a lot is intentional. And you have to be intentional about creating these surroundings and creating these situations. So you can't just expect that it's just going to happen. So that's a word I think we all need to keep in mind.
I always like, she says, you can't talk about the culture if you don't be the culture or live the culture. So that's, again, just to be representative, to give someone that hope is one thing. And then I go back to...
Okay, guys, fuck this shit. I can't take it anymore. I can't fucking take it anymore. Now, I just wanted to bring up an example, though, before I end this video, because I've been going almost a half hour. I'm sorry, I really can't take it. I'll put the link in the description if you guys want to finish it. But several years ago, PK Subban, 2014, they're playing the Boston Bruins first round. Game 1, goes to double overtime. He scores a goal. He scores the overtime winner. Danny Briere was in front of the net creating a screen. He scores the overtime winner. Directly after he scores the goal, someone throws a water bottle at him in the stands. And I think someone threw a banana too. Someone threw a banana and a water bottle. Later that night, some nasty fans, some nasty motherfuckers. Again, I'm not saying, because I always get accused of this, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. There are some instances like this one. The fans go on Twitter, they start shit-talking PK. They start saying, oh, this guy an N-word, and using racism and racial slurs. So, PK Subban, I implore you, you might be able to find this on YouTube. He comes out to the media. It could have been very easy for him to say, well, this is the NHL, this is the fan base, this is the way it is, black people this and this and that, and white people this and this and that. Do you know what PK did? He goes, he says, this does not reflect the Boston Bruins fan base. These are a few bad apples. The Boston Bruins fan base is one of the most passionate and one of the best fan bases in the NHL, and this represents them in no way. I don't know why people can't have the same mentality as PK. You know, where, yeah, something bad's going to happen to you. You know, I've been called words in the book. You know, not to say, you French Canadians, high school, you weren't always the nicest to me. Did I go and say, well, fuck all of the French, they're institutionalized, they hate Arabs? No. I said those people who bullied me, they were shitheads. They were kids. They didn't know what they were doing. It doesn't at all reflect all of the Frenches. The Frenches. Sorry, that's bad vocabulary. The Frenchies. It doesn't reflect them all. So that's all I wanted to say. Sportsnet, please, I implore of you. It's enough you took Don Cherry away. Don't replace him with this bullshit. Don't replace him with this bullshit. I mean, that's just going low. And I think you've already shoved it up people's faces when you fired Don Cherry. Don't replace it with this. I'd rather see Gritty do a hula dance for 20 minutes than look at this shit. I mean, again, I know that the goal of this is trying to make it inclusive and trying to bring people together. Did you bring people together after this video? No. arguably, I think you separated us even more. I mean, just look to the likes to dislikes. There's a lot of people out there, they're saying, hey, I'm not one of those. You know, I always respected black people. They're on my hockey teams. I always gave them the same type of attention. Why are you categorizing me? Why are you saying I have white male privilege? That's not bringing people together. Bringing people together, it would be saying this. Now, guys, I know that in the past, it hasn't been easy. We've been mistreated. But from now on, moving forward, I am your equal. We are equal. And together, we can get over this thing. But nope, that's not how it's meant to be. That's not how it's meant to be. I don't usually get political on these segments, on these videos, but Sportsnet kind of forced my hand here. You know, they went full SJW. And why do you think people are calling them cuckoldnet? Or cucknet, whatever it's called. Because of shit like this. So, people, I think I speak for most people when I say, leave this out of hockey. Okay? We don't want to see this. You know, talk about hockey, talk about trades, talk about whatever it may be. Keep the politics out of it. It's annoying. Now, realize, despite all of this that I've said, I never once said fire Ron McLean or fire Terry Sloan or fire Kabuya, whatever his name is. I never once said that. Because I acknowledge, even though I don't like it, next Saturday when it appears, I just won't watch it. I'm not one of those like Jack Todd saying, oh man, I need to get this and this and that person fired. No. Let's be better than that. If you guys don't like Sportsnet, let's just not watch it. If you don't like this segment, let's not watch it. I hope you guys like this video. If you disagree with me, let me know why. I'm dying to know why. Like, again, I think we can have respectful discussions. I think I've been respectful so far, except when I called the girl a resting bitch face. But that's just fun and games. I think I've been respectful, so let me know why you agree or why you disagree. And make sure to like, subscribe to the Sin Bin. Come on, let's get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm just dying. You guys are killing me here. And without further ado, my name is Matt. Keep your stick on the ice.